All right, so we're going to go ahead and go over the week of December 2nd's homework. So first thing that we got to break the habit of is just circling answers. When we're just circling answers, it shows me that we don't really know what we're doing, which in itself is good data for me to know. But I would prefer it if you tried your hardest, showed work on all of these, and if you even made a note to me on the side that said, I still don't really understand this, that would be a lot more helpful than not trying at all and just circling an answer. So first we're going to do problem number 1. Crystal grades 200 papers every 5 days. If she continues at this rate, which table represents the relationship of days to papers graded? So the first thing we have to do, and I wrote steps down here. Step 1, we're going to find the initial rate from the question. So initial is going to mean first. For instance, if my name is Mr. Oates, my initial would be O. It's the first letter of my name. So initial is going to be the first ratio that we see. And the first ratio that we see is going to be in the question. So we're going to compare days to papers. So what comes first is days. So we have 5 compared to 200 papers. What we're going to do is we're going to say this is our initial ratio. This is the ratio that we are going to use for comparing it to each single one. Take our initial ratio, which is 5 over 200, and our goal is what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to compare it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So up to 15 times. Now, this isn't something that's hard. This is the same skill as 5th grade and 4th grade, but it's becoming more tedious. But because they've had the skill for 3 years, it should be really easy to go through these. So this is our initial ratio, and first we're going to compare it with the first ratio in answer choice A, which is going to be 6 over 240. And now, the way that we're going to compare these fractions or compare ratios is by using the butterfly. This is something that they've been doing since 4th grade. So if we do the butterfly, we're going to see that 5 times 240 will make 1,200. 200 times 6 will also make 1,200. So we know that this 6 and 240 is the same exact ratio as our initial ratio. Now, just because this first one worked doesn't mean the rest of them will work. So we're going to try our next one. Once again, our initial ratio is 5 over 200. But now we're going to compare it with 7 over 260. And once again, we're going to use the same skill to compare them. So when we multiply it out, we're going to get 200 times 7 is 1,400, and 260 times 5 is 1,300. So since these are not equal, that means the ratio for 7 over 260 is not the same. So this is a reason why I put this answer choice first, because a lot of the times that they're going to trick the students into saying, okay, this first one is right, but maybe the rest of them are wrong. So this is just to show that even if the first one is right, that doesn't mean the answer choice is right. You have to go ahead and check all of them. But now that we know that this one is wrong, we know that this is going to be the wrong answer choice. So now what we're going to have to do is we're going to take our initial ratio, 5 over 200, and compare it with the first problem in answer choice, or the first option in answer choice B, which is 7 over 280. And we're going to compare once again using the butterfly. So now that we've checked that this comes out to 1,400 and 1,400, I can go ahead and put a check mark because I know that this is going to be the same rate as our initial ratio. So what I went ahead and did is I wrote out the rest of them. Now I'm going to compare our initial ratio, 5 over 200, to the second option, 8 over 320. When I did the butterfly, I got them both at 1,600. So since that works, I'm going to go ahead and put a check mark. Now I'm going to compare our initial ratio, 5/200, with 10/400. And when I did that, I got 2,000 for each of them. So once again, that matches up. I can put a check mark. Now I have to compare the initial ratio to 11 over 440. So when I did that, I got 2,200 and 2,200. So that one checks out. And lastly, they would still go ahead and check this, even though the first four are right, because they will trick you still. When I did 5 times 600, I got 3,000. 200 times 15, I got 3,000. So I know that that ratio is staying the same all the way through, and I can go ahead and mark that as the correct answer. Now, for extra practice, I would have your student go ahead and compare the ratios for answer choice C. See if any of them match, see if they don't match.